We'll kick things off with the favourites for the tournament, England, and taking on Serbia. Jude Bellingham would open the scoring after 13 minutes, and that was pretty much that for the game. England sat back, Serbia were the better team in the second half. Harry Kane did hit the crossbar, but it really was a poor performance from England, but they do get the victory, the 3 points, to open up their tournament start as we welcome in Mark Ogden is with us, Mario Malchior as well, before we go to them. Let's kick things off in the studio. Job done, I suppose?
It was hard work watching you.
Oh, it was hard work watching them.
I think a wholly uninspiring performance from England. We saw, Germany take a very poor Scotland side apart. We saw Spain dismantle an experienced Croatian side. And we saw England surrender, really, a lot of possession, way too much, to a very mediocre Serbia side. And ironically, the first 15 minutes was actually quite upbeat from England, passing and moving, and Foden drifting off the left and linking up with Bellingham and looking a threat to get the goal. It was an excellent goal, and Bellingham charging through the middle of the park, as you'd expect. It's the trademark. And then it sort of just went a little flat, and Serbia had a couple of half chances. And then the second half, from the moment the ball was kicked off in the second half, England were on the edge of their own box. And this is, and maybe there's some sort of plan here to conserve energy. I don't know. I don't think so. And it was worrying that England just didn't go and make a statement and say, here's 2 or 3 goals, we're killing the game off, we're making the substitutions, and this is a cakewalk. That's not the case. And that's going to be, I think, some of the criticism that comes Gareth Southgate's way. He'll say, like you said, job done, 3 points. But trust me, had this been a better side today than Serbia, and England had played in this manner in terms of sitting deep and isolating Harry Kane, this could easily have been a different result.
That's the point, isn't it? To take forward that if this was a proper opposition, someone who could take their chances, control the ball in the final third, we'd be having a completely different conversation.
Yes, 100%. I think watching the England side today, I think it's all mental. I don't think it was tactics from Southgate. He wouldn't have said to his team, once we go on and look there, why don't we just sit back? I think it's a mentality shift in the players that they need to get rid of as quick as possible.
But these are experienced players that have won the Champions League, they won the Premier League.
But why is Southgate not out on the touchline? I know they've won it. Why is he not on the touchline saying, if that was a Klopp, if that was a top-class coach...
He's not that way.
He's out there and he's going,
he's not
get
that
up.
Way. He's not that way.
15, 20 yards up the field, we're passing the ball. It's his job to do that.
Yeah, he's not the type of manager. He wouldn't do it verbally. What he could have done is took Phil Foden off and put Anthony Gordon on. Then you've got fresh legs. You've got a dynamic there when Jared Bowen came on. There's something different late on in the game.
What do you mean mentality? Like, just take us through what they're thinking.
Well, go back to the Euro final when they played Italy and they were winning 1-0. Italy were all over the place. It was a prime example where England should have got their foot down and won that game 2-3-4. They didn't. They went 1-0 up and they panicked a little bit. They looked at the scoreline. They tried to protect the scoreline. They think possession is king because they're winning 1-0. That's something that I saw today in England. You go 1-0 up and Craig's right, 15 minutes they were really good. Bellingham was off the charts good. Him and Saka, I thought were the best 2 players on the pitch by a country mile. Some players were invisible. And I think it's nerves. I think it's getting over the line where they might grow into the tournament. It might be a case where you're in your first game, you've seen all the big sides make a statement, they've got really good wins, scored lots of goals. They were probably thinking after an hour, we'll take a 1-0 win here and we'll face the criticism and we'll move on to game 2. That's the only thing I can think of, but I think it's mental.
Well, England are not good enough to defend the game at 1 defensively.
No, just today I meant. Because France would have tore them apart.
Yeah, even today that was edgy. England are not good enough defensively to just see a game out at 1-0. That's not a good enough back four at this level to do that. There was a moment in the second half, it was early in the second half, when, and I'll get to this side of the field a little bit later after the lads, but Jude Bellingham chased back into the left-back area as he does, and he won a tackle, and he won England a throw-in, and then he turned to the rest of the back four and he went, get up!
Yeah.
Up! And his frustration was evident to see.